Okay, folks. Welcome to the midweek show. Second opinion by Sam Gadu. Yeah, welcome to the show. Those of you watching, share the link, be a part of this awesome midweek show. It's second opinion, very interesting topic to talk about today here on the show. The millennial entitlement generation. This generation has a sense of entitlement. A lot of people have labeled them, and but we're gonna get into the facts and find out what is going on with this generation of ours, our boys, our girls. What is happening? Nobody wants to work. Maybe they have a different way they want to work. You know, they probably don't want to follow their father's footsteps. They have their own ideologies, their own ways and techniques of working, and so they're not doing work like the way we did it, the way our fathers did it, the way our parents did it. They just feel like they are going to do it a different way. And so a lot of people feel or think that this generation of new millennials are selfish as well. Some think they feel they are entitled to everything. So, but howbeit, whatever it takes, we are just having a 30-minute show, and we're going to give you finding and things that we are here to talk about. And part of them has to do with this: how, why does this generation feels? Why does this new generation feels they are entitled to everything? You know, so the lines will be open as well. You can call into the show, give your input as well. Why I do that, why I wait for callers to call in as well. We are going to begin the show right here at Talk TV Media Network. Today is Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. The weather is beautiful here. It's just 1:34 p.m. Central Standard Time here in the city of Tulsa. And I know those of you watching in Liberia, it's already evening time, and those on the East Coast as well, the day is almost fast spent going down gradually. But yeah, let's look at the word entitlement. Entitlement, as defined, is just a sense of belonging, something that someone feels they're entitled to, you know, they deserve. This is what the word means. So, this generation of ours have been labeled, classified as, you know, most people are hearing around the corner, they don't want to go to work. Or if they are working in a different way. The drive within them to work, to getting things done, it's not there, you know. And most people think that this generation, this new millennial generation, is a lazy generation. Um, I wouldn't label them like that because I think they are pretty smart generation, very smart. I think they know what they're doing, and but we're going to delve into what others are saying. Here is something that I came across. Entitlement is perhaps the top word associated with the millennial generation. In fact, 71% of American adults think of millennials as selfish, you know, 71%. And 65% think millennials are entitled to things. Whether or not one believe this or not, we're here to find out. It is a label that is already sticking on them, accurate. It could be accurate, or the perception is a reality. So these are some of the things we want to talk about. What do you think this generation that we found ourselves, our children, the working folks that drive the economy, So, or in discussing this topic, I'm trying to come up with five five reasons, you know, five contributors that people this generation feels they are entitled to. Five contributing factors. Five contributing factors. So, I want to find out um, what is it. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Before I even get in, Abraham is watching us from Liberia. Welcome, Abraham, to the show. Martin, Stewart, welcome to the show as well. Yeah. Welcome, 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 guys, from all the way in Nima County. Yeah. So welcome, guys, to the show. And those of you who are watching, share the show, share this platform, the broadcast on your various platforms, and you can call in or leave your comments down the link as well, and be a part of it because we need to know what is happening with this generational, this millennial generation. Do they want to work? Or do they just want people to hand them stuff, give them stuff, materials, hand them out money, as though money is on the trees. Go pick it up, give it to me, mommy and daddy. But we will be looking at some of the factors that are causing these things. Why is it that this generation feels so entitled to so many things? They just feel like everything should be given to them. And then we're also going to find out how, right there, how we can help them realize the importance of work because work pays. When you look in the scriptures, the Bible says a lazy man should not eat. Period. That's it. That's what the Bible talks about. A lazy man should not eat. But how can we help our children? Or are we parents contributing to this factor? Because when we have our children, we feed them with stuff. We think they deserve it. We think, they're entitled to it. So we give them those things. And that's one of the contributing factors that I talked about. The five factors, one of them is parenting, right? Parents play a very significant role when it comes to that. We parents, I think, contribute to some extent uh, the way our children behave or think once they grow up. Because that baby girl, that baby boy that we nurture, at a certain level they grow up. Now we want them to shift, to change their level of thinking, to assume responsibility. And we don't see them because over the years, when we're nurturing, raising them up, we kind of fed them like, oh, leave my baby alone, and stuff like that. Oh, he's okay. He's fine. He's just a baby, kind of stuff like that, those kind of things. And so you put that in the mind of the child and you spoil the child, you know, all those years. And the child mind is programmed used to that. And so now they've grown up where your expectation of them is to assume responsibility. And you don't see that forthcoming. And so they feel they're entitled. And that's why even when they're growing up, they don't want to leave the home. Even if they do leave the home, they go, they still want to come back. They don't want to face the challenges because the world we're living in, you can nurture your child like that. But don't forget that when that child grows up, he or she is going to face the real world out there. And the real world out there is not that friendly. So a lot of the mistakes that we make as parents is how do we balance that? What we give to our children. Are you teaching your children work ethics, the importance of work, thinking, manufacturing, entrepreneurship, business? Those are the things. Or are you just handing stuff to your children because they ask? Even if they don't, you still give them stuff. you know so you have to balance that out as a parent in order to help your child when they grow up at a certain level, right? So those are some of the things. Parenting is very key. That's why I'm stay on that word, parenting. And because number two too is human nature. Entitlement is by nature is a natural thing. That's one area too. We feel like, this generation, human beings, we are selfish people. We want everything for ourselves, except when you get to a point where you realize it's life is not all about me. Then you step out of those bounds. You want to be able to do for others. Then you realize you're able to balance that. But by nature, we're selfish animals, creatures. We are selfish. We want everything for ourselves. Me, myself, and I. That's by nature. So that nature being in us brings some sort of entitlement with it. It's my stuff, so I'm entitled to it. That is what we're doing as humans. So the point here is being able to balance that human nature with the reality. That is the key right there. Being able to balance that human nature with the reality, and it comes with maturity. The more you grow, having that ability, to treat others, because if you don't grow up, you're immature, right? So you have to grow up at a certain point in life where you show a sense of maturity. That's it, you know. And then also we looked at the word skill. Skill is very important. I would say knowledge and skill, right? So knowledge and skill, according to studies, 68% of hiring managers say that millennials have skills that prior generations do not. That's it. But the only thing is the skill, the industry when it comes to the skill, is what we need to look at. What is this generation trending into? What are their skills? Right? So at the end of the day, some of them don't want to work. They kind of work that we've done. They don't want to do this hard manual kind of labor work. They don't. But there are some things that you cannot just get by. That's the reality. There are things that you just have to, you're gonna do. Why? Because that's life. They're meant to be so. You're going to eat to live. You're going to drink water to live. Those are some of the things, period. You know, so when it comes to the millennial and the work ethics, when it comes to scale, um, we're looking at the different scale, the environment, because a lot has changed. Their generation is quite different from our father's generation, from our big brother's generation, from our generation as well. So things are changing very much on a fast pace level, um, as in looking back into history, what that has to do. So skill plays, what type of training, what type of skills do this generation have? Some of them do they do welding? Are they mechanics? Somebody has to drive a vehicle somewhere around. A vehicle's gonna have to break someday. Someone's yard has to be cut. All of that, you know. Somebody's roof is leaking. Someone has to be up there to fix it. Somebody's air conditioner is broken. Electricity. So scale training. It's not just sitting behind the office, but what the next topic, the next contributing factors that I will be talking about does has to do with what I'm talking about, the skill work, right? So this generation has a different mindset. They want to work. Some people say working smart, working less. They want to work less. They don't want to work much. And they want to work less and make more money. That's it. They want to work less and make more money. And there are some things it won't balance, on the scale because there are some things you're going to have to do that will require you to work more, not less. Like what I just mentioned, those things that I just mentioned, you're a mechanic, a roofer, um, a truck driver, or a landscaper, you know, a contractor. Someone has to build a house for someone to sleep in it. It's just like you have to eat to survive. That's how it is with this generation. Reality is to the fourth option, contributing factors, has to do with ownership. This generation, this millennial generation, has uh, has a sense of ownership so much within themselves. You know, because the reason is I was looking at why do they feel so empowered, and that took me to technology. If you look at LinkedIn, you look at social media website like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of those platforms gives you a sense of empowerment, as in you create your own brand. You create your own brand, empowering you to have a sense of ownership. Oh, I see my colleague back there. Let me bring him right on the show with me. Um, yeah. So this is a very welcome, comrade. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're talking about this millennial generation uh entitlement right there on the screen. So I was giving the different factors that are contributing to these, and I was on ownership, which during my research led me to social media, where it empowers them by giving them individual platforms how to shift, how to do things, and some of them do make money. It's an easy way with their phones, with their laptops, and tablets and stuff. So somebody, but neglecting the fact that there is hard manual order labor job. Unlike you and I, we get up in the morning, we have to go to work, and we are committed to doing that. Someone has to go to class to teach someone, you know, and that old school way mentality, all of that, our parents how to go to school. These days, the generation is so different, as in most people don't go have to get up in the morning or walk to go to school. You can all you need is a laptop, you know, or internet service where you can do your degree, you can do your schoolwork online in the comfort of your home. All of those
Mhm.
options are available to them, so they feel empowered in different ways. And earlier I talked about, before you came up, I talked about parenting is one of those. Parents cause that too, entitlement issue. Just giving you, paraphrasing it up quick,
Yeah, yeah.
so I'll let you in. What the role parents play. You have a child, and then the way we bring our kids up. Oh, have this. We just feed them with stuff, give them stuff. That's my baby. That's my little girl. That's daddy's girl. That's daddy's boy. Mommy's boy, and just feed them, not being able to balance that out to a
Hmm.
point where when the child grows up, now we are expecting them to mature and shift, but that shift is not taking place.
Yes.
That
Yes.
creates another problem. So parents play a very vital role uh,
Hmm.
to that effect. So I'll let you come in. What's your opinion about this whole entitlement? Because why is it that this generation? That's the biggest question. Why does
I,
this
I,
generation
I I
feel
think like you laid a very good foundation. There has been a bigger shift. a bigger shift in terms of from the traditional family structure
Right.
to a very what I would call a multi-dimensional family structure. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, many of the kids or millennials today come from families structures where there have been absence of um, a real proper parenting. Some of them either grew up without a parent
Right.
to provide them the mentoring that they need. Some of them have maybe one parent who, in his or her own way, try their best, but it's not sufficient. It also depends on the number of children you have also, and so that has impacted the behavior of the children of the millennials that we now see today.
Mm-hmm.
So that you have children growing up without the proper nurturing, the proper culture to understand they need to work. So they feel entitled.
They
They
do.
feel that I need it. And one good point you raise is also the parenting style. I think that's a very good thing you raise. There are just some parents that don't tell their children no. All right. Some parents don't tell their children no. Telling them no is a problem. You know, there are some parents who don't want to be tough on their kids. They believe that he's a kid. Just treat him like a kid, treat her like a kid. So like you rightly said, for those all who have background, like me, I have a background in sociology. If you look at human development, the lifespan development in
Mm-hmm.
developmental psychology, that's an area that talks about human development from conception to death. It talks about the different stages. It talks about what you need as a person. What are the different needs in different age groups and whatever it is. Now, if you continue to pamper a child or your children, even when they are in different ages where they need to learn certain things, it's difficult, like you said, for them to transition into becoming hard working, focusing on tasks, being
Right.
able to know that they need to achieve, be independent, and to also be prepared for life challenges, to always be prepared for life challenges. Like I always sometimes a little big example of my kids. I always try to make my kids to understand, say, hey, that at some point you see daddy, all your hair will be gray. He's not gonna be doing I'm not gonna be providing for you guys again. So you have to realize that. I always tell my daughter, my son, and the rest, I say, hey, you have to be prepared. I say, my
Right.
time, I tell them, I say, oh, my hair will be gray, you have to be prepared. So when I get them taxed and they are complaining, I'm telling you, hey, I tell them, say, I'm telling you, I'm preparing you so when the time reach, you are ready to be independent and go. So it's always good to make the children to have that mindset that there will be a transition. Sometimes people don't want to tell them. For me, I think I always like to tell them that there will be a transition where you have to take care of yourself and take care of your family. And so
Right.
you have to be prepared
Right.
for it. So that the children, they are growing, and they are thinking and reflecting and say, oh, I see why. I understand that. So I think you make a very good point that parenting, it plays a major role when it comes to children feeling that they are entitled. They are very, very entitled. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm thinking with the layers of contributing factors that I just named listed, and I'm sitting and thinking, what is the solution for them? How can we help this generation? Because there are some things you cannot undo. As in, just like I was saying earlier, someone has to be a mechanic because we have to drive vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Your roof is leaking. Someone has to come in and fix
In a
that.
way.
Your yard is growing. Someone has to cut the yard.
Yeah.
And all of that. So much. Someone you want smooth roads. Nicer roads. Someone has to be out there in the heat. And like here in America, we see a lot of this. Needless to say, a lot of these people with America is trying to deport Spanish people. A lot of them contractors in the street. When you see them working, you don't find a typical. Just not many Americans wants to do that kind of hard color blue jobs,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Everybody wants to sit behind a desk or on a computer and make more money,
Mm-hmm.
for less work.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
and so how can we? I'm thinking, how can we help this generation realize there are some things you just have to do. You cannot undo,
Mhm.
and you just have to do them. As in,
Mhm.
you have to drink water to live. You have to eat food to survive. So these are I think it boils down to the foundation that we're talking about parenting.
Yeah, I think we need to use several approaches. There are so many approaches that we need to use.
Hmm.
Whether it's revisiting how we parent, that's something that we can talk about. I think sometimes people believe that once they can have children, that means they can parent. It's one thing to have child children,
Right,
it's
right,
another thing to
right.
parent, and they're
Yeah.
two different things, And so I think there's a need to for more training, discussion, sharing experiences about parenting. I think there are just some parents over there that sometimes have assumption about what parenting is. But when we're having those kind of family groups where people are sharing their
Mhm.
experiences, that could help some people become a better parent, especially those who are younger parents. Now, another thing is that maybe we need to have a shift in the school curriculum, how we design curriculum. So, for example, moving the curriculum from a traditional based curriculum to more vocational based where you have career
Ah,
opportunities,
yeah,
and
yeah.
starting the vocational program, not when people are already in college or in high school. You can start the vocational program immediately when people are in middle school.
Right.
Start the vocational program in middle school. You can do carpentry, you can do machinery, you can do electricity, and so right there and then, by the time they hit middle school, they are doing this. By the time they are out of high school, they have a lot of different skills. They are ripe and ready to be able to
Yeah,
implement
ready. Yeah,
challenge. And just to make you like, it's in Liberia, that's the challenge we are facing now in Liberia.
yeah.
Now in Liberia, for example, we do not have many technical and vocational skills in Liberia, in education in Liberia.
Right,
Now we're
right.
talking about having the necessary teachers to run the program. We don't have it, and that is why we're having problem. As our economy is having problem, because you can't continue importing other technicians and other people to the country
Yeah,
every
and
now and again.
technocrats when you could easily build your own.
Exactly so.
Right.
Exactly so. For example, road engineers. All right, you need certain type of road engineers. You don't find them in Liberia. All right, there are certain kind of. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about mechanics in Liberia. So I can try to. To real find real trained mechanics in Liberia, you hardly find them. That is why you just find when you carry your car in Liberia when it's sports sometime. That's it. You hardly will find
But
anybody to
interesting
take.
enough, you talked about that, or Joel,
Yeah,
uh, about mechanics. And once you are a professional mechanic and you open a professional mechanic shop, you do tend to make more money in Liberia as in someone who's just passing with a bag of tools in their back.
I
You
agree.
know, and that's why Toyota Garage makes money.
I agree.
That's why the government sends, their vehicles because they are going to be diagnosed, not just someone just going to walk in there. They're going to diagnose them and tell you this is a problem, this is what's going to cost you, and we can fix it.
I agree. And
So,
and, and just to buttress what you're saying, I had a car sent some time ago and the car broke down. I'm struggling up to now to find somebody to really get this car repaired. I'm struggling to find somebody really who will understand to get this car repaired. So imagine if we had a vocational system that
mm,
is training people and making sure they are certified in certain engines. Just 1 year of training certify them maybe in Toyota,
yeah,
1 year and certify them in this area, and get the real technicians to train them. That's a lot of job opportunity you create
a
there
lot
over
of
a
job
period of time.
opportunities. You're
So you're
right.
not getting people cars, they're parking one side and nobody to fix them.
So
You
with
know,
this whole entitlement issue, I would then think as well that government plays a very important role. I was thinking like even here, right? Maybe we need to, in order to encourage this generation to get up their butt to be able to work, uh, not just the private sector or private companies, but even government jobs need to create more incentives that will be enticing to people.
yeah,
Okay, I want to work because they're paying good over there. I got my whatever. Because this generation, I feel like one thing they're running away from is they kind of work. Okay, come sit here and work here for 10 hours, and this is how we've done it, and stuff like that. And they're not thinking like that. They're not. They don't want to, all that control thing. They're not up for it. So they go to work. to a traditional place and they are being controlled, told what to do. I mean, that then they bump heads.
Yeah,
With managers like I
yeah.
can't take it.
They don't want any
And
authority. They don't want
right,
authority. Yeah.
right. Because I mean, here's someone they have a Facebook page, that sense of ownership, or YouTube or this. They have their own website, that entitlement, being a boss, doing their little thing. So it's hard for them to listen to instruction to be able to
I
be
agree.
directed to doing the things they're supposed to do to follow through.
Yes, yes,
So
and I think that's also important that they have to also be trained to learn because you can succeed in your career when you cannot respect authority. There's no way you're gonna even in business you're not gonna succeed if you
right,
can't be able to
right.
respect. Yeah, because that those are things you have to be disciplined and trained with, and I think that's also something that people need to talk about so that the millennial also need to understand. You don't really succeed in business or anything if
Mm-mm.
you cannot really listen to authority. There's no way. You
And
must be able to listen.
commitment too.
Yeah, and
Commitment
commitment. Yeah.
to a job, to your
Yes, you have to
career.
be committed. Yeah.
Being able to commit, to show up on time, respect
Yes.
time,
Yeah.
very key, and trying to do the extra mile because you don't see them doing that. I
Yes.
think, okay, my job is over about 4 o'clock. About four, at least I can be here about 4:10. But I mean, before 4, they're ready to go.
Yeah. Ready to
Ready to
go.
clock out and run.
I'm going. I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. And that is very important. And, it's so important because your earnings over time. Because if you're not even maintaining a job, if you can't say consistently maintain your job, it affects your earnings.
It does.
Because the longer you stay on a job, the chances are you're going to get some raises over a period of time. But if you're just shifting here and there, it's going to impact your chances of being able to make a better income.
But I
As a
think
person.
I think too, it's that stability. Once they understand that the more stable you are, the more trusted you can be.
Yes.
The more people will look up to you because you have shown by character that you can. People can trust you. You're stable. On a job, you are reliable. People can rely on you. Then opportunities will come. But if you can quit 10 jobs in a year time and you're switching jobs, you go anywhere, nobody will want to trust you.
Not at all.
Because it's just like you come and go. I mean, someone's gonna co-worker's gonna step on your toes and you're
Yeah.
upset, ready to
Yeah.
resign to
I'm
walk
tired.
out,
I'm going.
you
I'm
know
going. Yeah.
so there is a lot that is wrong with this generation that is going on, but we have to, as well as parents, have to understand the fact that it's a different generation, it's a different world that we're living in because it's a fast-paced word. Things are moving so fast than what our parents had to go through, than what our big brothers, big sisters went through, than what we are going through. Things are
Mhm.
moving too fast at
Very
their
much.
pace. Everything
Very much.
just like that on their phones and stuff. Things are happening. Look at news. You and I right now. Think about 10, 20 years ago what, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, communication was like.
Exactly so.
So I mean, a huge change. Things are moving
Mhm.
on a fast pace and stuff.
Mhm.
And we just, those of you who are watching online, it is our moral responsibility to help community, to help each other. Children, this generation, they'll watch you walk out in the morning and go to work and expect you to bring food home and feed them. They don't care, and they're not gonna regret. I bet they do that.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
only here, but even in Liberia. If
Yes.
you don't put them to work or whatever, they don't care. Like they
Yeah.
don't feel guilty at all.
Not
Like,
at
oh
all.
yeah, mom, dad, thank you. You brought me some food. That's just
That's exactly the point. So it's a big issue. And to be frank with you, this issue is important because else the next generation will be very poor. All right, they'll be poorer because they cannot have that work ethic, that discipline. How would they be able to make income to take care of their families?
yeah.
Will be a problem, you know. So
Someone, I was having a discussion with someone and they were telling me that look at the housing industry here, right? In the US, the way prices and rates are going up,
mhm.
have already gone up.
Yes,
So
got up.
it's making it difficult for this generation to even become homeowners like you and I,
Hmm.
right?
I
Our
agree.
homeowners. This generation, because they will look at it like $300,000, $400,000 for a home.
Hmm.
Forget that. I'd rather
Yes.
just go rent.
Yes.
So they
Yes.
will more or less be living on
Yes.
renting the rest of
Yes.
their lives instead of
Yes.
becoming homeowners.
Yes.
And the way you become homeowners is you got to put in time, you got to put in real work.
Mm-hmm.
You got to build a fortune, create a business, run
Mm-hmm.
an entity on your own and
Mm-hmm.
stuff,
Yeah.
and a portfolio, because
Yes.
before you even go to the bank to loan you money, you got to have all of these requirements met and stuff. So if you don't have a stable job, you don't have a stable income, these are the factors that approves you to buying a home. Then run a business, make money,
Mm-hmm.
and get a cash and go buy a house.
Yes.
So a lot of this, and I just feel like, yeah, this topic, it's a very interesting topic that we'll have to continue to
Really, I agree. And like it's good that you mentioned Liberia. That those are things that I think we need to, like, especially in Liberia, we need to really think about how the young people there, even the whole issue of the drug addiction
yeah, yeah.
problem. Yeah, because at certain stage when you reach and you are having an identity problem and you're having a role problem, who am I? That question comes to mind.
Yes,
You're asking
yes,
yourself, who am
yeah.
I?
Where am I
Who am
going?
I? You know, and when the young person or the young adult cannot answer that question correctly, he's trying to seek answers from different things. All right, he want to seek answer from drug addiction. He want to seek answer from crime. He or she want to seek answer from places that really will not give he or she answers. You see, so like in Liberia, how can we create that kind of situation, that kind of like making sure that they're not having that entitlement spirit.
Hmm.
It's so important. But like I said, the family has to be involved, but then we can not only rely on the family, like we said, because the family structure now has taken a different turn. You have more single parents. The challenges in managing a single parent family is very tough, especially for female headed households.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it becomes very
I have
challenging.
two,
How
three, four kids. Even one child is that's tough. Then
exactly
how much
so?
more
How
with
do
more
you
than one?
provide for the family and how, at the same time, provide the best parenting skills? It's not an easy thing, It's really not an easy thing. So then, what next do we do? Then the school system, how can we design the curriculum in the school system, because that's another place that the children spend 8 hours, man, maybe in a
Yes.
day, depending on how long is the school day for them. So how can we make the curriculum in a way that make them to grow up with work ethic, will grow up with that spirit of being focused and serious minded? How can we design the curriculum to do that? How can we train the teachers, so when the teachers get to the classroom, how can the teachers incorporate that from elementary school all the way to high school? How can they bring that sense of work ethic in the minds of the children, so that by the time they reach high school, they now understand and appreciate what they went through? So we need to change a lot of systems. It's not just one
A
approach.
lot
We
needs
need
to
a
yeah.
multiple approach to addressing that.
It's so true with what you just said, and it kind of took me back to my junior high days, right?
Hmm.
Taking the subject agriculture. How
Yeah.
you gonna take the subject agriculture, and you don't go out in the field to
Yeah.
practically do it and
Yeah.
see how you plant crops and all of that stuff. But we learned it when we were growing.
Yes.
We took the subject and we had to go out there in the field,
Yes.
with our instructor and work,
Yes.
and know what agriculture looks like. And then
Yes.
do plant some crops and stuff.
Yes.
We did that, as in, you taking your agriculture, it's all on paper, it's on your tablet, you're looking at it. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so those are major things I think we need to examine.
Very important. Very, very
Multiple
important.
multiple approach, a very
Yeah.
multiple approach to the situation, because the thing is, there's a link. The entitlement spirit and poverty, they are closely related. That's the point.
Hmm.
Entitlement spirit and
That's it. I
poverty,
like that. That's a good
yes,
one
they
right
are
there.
very closely related, and that's the point. So if we do not address it, then the poorer our society become. And I'm concerned about Liberia, because that's a major issue in Liberia. We have so many resources, we have so many opportunities that are there, but then people, that entitlement story can be a
And then
problem.
and then
And,
it's
and
so.
one point you make, and
Mhm.
which I want to emphasize is, it's not everyone that can do an office job. It's not
Right.
everyone that can be able to not everyone that can be able a college degree is not useful for everybody, you know. And that's hard to say. I know some people don't get to understand that, but everything that you do requires certain skills.
Mm-hmm.
So some people will do best as maybe electrician. Somebody will be best as a construction person. Somebody will be best as this person, opening their business, and they will prosper. You see,
Prosper. And
yeah,
they
they
will
will
do
prosper.
well.
You know,
Yes.
yeah, they make a lot of money, even than somebody who have a college degree or whatever. You know, so people need to understand that, you know, and those differences and
And
pursue.
that's why it's hard for people to just you can't just define success.
Yes,
You know
yes,
that's how it is. It's just hard to define success. That's a very important point you just struck right there.
you know.
Very very important
For
for
example, you go to college, you don't have the writing skills, you don't have the reading skills. You want to go to college just to get a degree. Now, like in Liberia, one of the problems that we all know, you know, the corruption in the school system, the bribery in the school system. So yes, you manage your will, graduate, have a bachelor's degree, but you can't be competitive with that degree.
but look at this Joel, the thing that always makes me wonder, and I'm like, what is going on? These kids go to school, finish college, LU, and they graduate X number of students and no jobs. Someone with a bachelor's degree, someone with a master's degree goes down waterside and all they have is a wheelbarrow or a table market.
Mhm,
Or they wander in the streets all day, nothing to do. Because the skill set that we're talking
mhm,
about, they are not
mhm.
there.
Yes.
And not everyone, it's easier. And some of them, they will finish that skill set, and now you find them trying to do that.
Mhm.
They get that degree now. Now you're like, man, I spent all these years. I feel like I'm nothing. That question that you ask still lingers, as in, who am I?
Who am I? Yeah, it comes back. Who am I?
Yeah, it comes right back with
Who am
all
I?
of this. Who am I? I mean,
Yes.
I'm trying to go to school so my life can become better, but
Yes.
nothing has changed. It's gotten
Yes.
for the worst.
Yes.
Who am
And
I?
then that conflict now in the mind, it leads to a lot of behavioral issues now automatically. You see, that person now is prepared to join violent riot. Any violent riot that come
Yeah.
around, they want to
Yep.
join violent riot.
Yep.
That person, if you give them, if they fortunate to get an office job or somewhere, they want to steal.
Yep.
They want to
Big
get rich
time.
because they are looking at all of the wasted years. They want to get rich in just 1 year.
You say, my
They
man,
don't
I'm
care
on the
about
tongue.
ethics. They are not concerned about ethics. They are not concerned about their environment, the community, and other people around them because the question continues, like you said, the question comes back to them: Who am I? Do I have the skills? Why is it I have this degree, but I cannot compete with my other friends that have the
Yeah.
degree? Why am I not competing? Why? You know, why am I not competing? You know, that question will come
Why am
back.
I poor? Period.
Why am I poor? With all of the education I have, why am I poor?
Yeah.
You see? And then there's a fight back and forth, fighting back and forth. But like you said, sometimes you really did not belong over there. You don't have the skill set to go through that particular system. You have a skill set for particular areas. And you go in that particular area,
You
you
thrive.
are going to what? To succeed.
Yeah, you do so
See?
well.
Yeah, you do so well. But you say, no, I have to go there. So you get through the university, you bribe your way through, like I, general would say, you mango, and you get some grades and you graduate. But then you cannot really be able to compete. You see? So
Wow.
why waste your time doing all of that if you could just find some technical area that will give you something and you'll be able to take care of your family?
And give you a meaning of what life is
Of
really.
what life is.
Yeah.
You see the question there. And I'm saying this because when I used to teach back in Liberia, those are the questions that I always used to ask because sometimes, like some of the students that came to me, some of the students I saw at the colleges, some people really did not belong there. I'll be very frank. Some people hardly read, they hardly write, but they still were trying to find a way through. Sometimes they will repeat the codes over and over. I don't have a problem. Sometimes you see they try, and try. And I could see gift in them, other things in them. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, there were
Yes.
other things that I saw in them.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
they won't see it themselves.
Yeah, that's the point. There were other things I saw in them. They had other skills, but they were still trying to mango, you know? And like you really said, They graduate and then it come back to them again. Who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I? You know.
Oh man. Yeah, it hunts them. It hunts them. And so our we're gonna deal with this topic as long as we have, so that way we can send a message out to most of them, because the more we discuss these social issues, these life contending issues, I think it's gonna change some people. Some people have a different mindset. Isn't that what universities or colleges do here? Before you enroll, they have counselors
Hmm.
that students need to talk to. Why do you want to do this course? Why do you want to do this? So they can stir you in the right direction.
Hmm.
So you don't have to repeat. Oh, whole 4 years, you find out you were doing it wrong whatsoever, and then now you going back to do something. I know a lady here who had a master's as a professor, teacher. Joel, you won't believe it. All those years, she ended up quitting her teaching job only to realize she's called to be a nurse. And so she had to go all over to school
Yes.
to become a nurse.
Yes.
And these are the things. This happens all across the world,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, all across the world. And so, yeah, man. Thanks for coming, for contributing on the show.
Yeah.
And
Welcome.
I hope we get to bring our audience a piece of this one more uh, either next week, sometimes next week. Folks, this is Second Opinion, a Talk TV Media Network by Sam Gadu and my colleague Joel Bimba. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the show. One final advice, Joel, before we take leave.
My final advice is especially to those who are young in their early 20s. I think early 20s, you know, this particular program will help you a lot so that you don't have to make a lot of mistakes. All right. I'm not saying people who are in their 40s and 50s cannot make use of this, but I'm just trying to say you have so much time in your favor. And this thing we are talking about here is strategic to your interest. You have to listen keenly, and it will really, really help you if you listen keenly and apply it to your life. It will really give you a lot of sense of direction of where to go in life. Thank you.
All right, folks, there you have it. Our followers today, Kumba Kandakai, Kuma Avian, Alfonso, just coming, watching from Bundy Town, Martin Stewart as well, Abraham Cully. Those of you who follow us today, thank you. This is Sam at Talk TV Media Network, bringing you Second Opinion midweek. And we'll be here. We got very good stuff to bring you as well. Programs that we're working on, especially be bringing you news flash as well. We're working on that. Pretty soon we'll be starting that as well. So until then, Saturday we'll be here talking politics at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. That will be about 6 Liberian time and 2 p.m. Eastern time. So join us, be a part of the weekly politics here at Talk TV Media Network. Joy, man, I'll catch you later.
All right. Thank you.
All right, my friend. Folks, have a row at it.